Maya Richardson Hartwell couldn't believe her eyes when barely 3 months after she inherited $5 billion and left her ex-husband Marcus's mistress Vanessa screaming, "You left a billionaire?" In that parking garage, Marcus walked into family court with an army of lawyers demanding full custody of their baby daughter Naomi, claiming that a grieving billionaire was mentally unstable and unfit to parent. The same man who'd divorced his pregnant wife 24 hours after her father's death, the same man who'd married his mistress while Maya's hands still smelled like funeral flowers, was now standing in front of a judge, arguing that he deserved to raise the billion-dollar heiress he'd abandoned. But what shattered Maya's heart into pieces she could barely hold together wasn't just Marcus trying to take her baby. It was seeing Vanessa sitting in the courtroom gallery, no longer his wife after their 6-week marriage imploded, but now his expert witness, ready to testify that Maya was an unfit mother. The mistress who'd whispered, "Finally," when Maya's father died, was now trying to help Marcus steal the granddaughter her daddy never got to meet. What Marcus didn't know as he presented his custody petition, what Vanessa didn't know as she prepared to lie under oath, was that Maya's father had predicted this exact moment. In a sealed letter he had left with his attorney, to be opened only if Marcus ever tried to claim parental rights, her father had written 3 devastating words that would become Maya's weapon: "Show no mercy." And inside that letter was evidence, recordings, proof of things about Marcus that would destroy him in ways he never imagined. So the question isn't just what happened after she inherited $5 billion and left his mistress screaming. It's this. What does a billionaire mother with her father's protection from beyond the grave do when her ex-husband tries to weaponize the court system to steal her child? How does a woman who lost everything find the strength to fight the man who once made her beg him to stay? And what secrets did Maya's father uncover about Marcus in those final weeks before he died? Secrets so dark, so damning, that when the judge heard them, Marcus wouldn't just lose custody, he'd lose everything. Because what Maya did next didn't just leave Marcus and Vanessa screaming, it left the entire city questioning everything they thought they knew about power, justice, and what happens when you underestimate a mother's love. But I'm getting ahead of myself. To understand how we got here, I need to take you back to 3 months after the parking garage scream, to the morning Maya opened her father's music box and found the letter that would change everything. Listen, if you missed part 1 of this story, the link is in the description, and you need to watch it first, because what's about to happen will hit 10 times harder when you know how Maya got here. But if you're already caught up, hit that subscribe button right now. Because this part of Maya's story will show you that karma doesn't just come for people who do wrong. It brings receipts. Smash that like button if you believe children deserve to be protected from people who only want them for money. And comment below. Have you ever had to fight for something you thought you'd already won? Tell me, because Maya's about to teach us all what real fighting looks like. Now let's go back to that music box, because what her father left inside would arm her for the battle of her life. The music box sat on Maya's dresser in her Brooklyn brownstone, wrapped in tissue paper that had yellowed slightly with time. It had arrived 3 days ago, Naomi's 3-month birthday, delivered by Harold Ashford with a simple note. Your father left instructions that you were to receive this on your daughter's 3-month milestone. He said you'd know when to open it. Maya had been staring at it for those 3 days, afraid of what it might contain. Another letter. Another reminder of the man she'd lost. Another wave of grief she wasn't sure she could survive while caring for a newborn alone. But that morning, with Naomi sleeping peacefully in her crib and sunlight streaming through the windows of the nursery her father had designed but never got to see, Maya finally opened it. The music box was beautiful. Hand-carved rosewood with inlaid mother-of-pearl, depicting a father holding his daughter under a starry sky. When she lifted the lid, a gentle melody began to play. A lullaby her father used to hum to her when she was small. Inside, nestled in velvet, was a USB drive in a sealed envelope with her father's handwriting. Open only if Marcus tries to take Naomi. Trust me, baby girl, I've got you. Maya's hands trembled as she stared at those words. Her father had known. Even 3 months before he died, even while fighting cancer, even while Marcus was pretending to be a devoted husband, her father had known this would happen. She wanted to open the envelope right then, wanted to see what he'd left her. But something stopped her. Some instinct that said, not yet. Wait until you need it. Wait until the moment is right. She placed the music box in her safe, next to the documents from her inheritance, and tried to push it from her mind. That lasted exactly 2 weeks. Maya was in her home office, Naomi napping in a bassinet beside her desk, when her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Maya Richardson? A professional female voice. Yes? This is Jennifer Walsh from the law offices of Brennan & Associates. I'm calling on behalf of my client, Marcus Richardson, regarding a custody matter concerning the minor child Naomi James Richardson Hartwell. The floor dropped out from under Maya's world. Custody matter? Mr. Richardson is filing for full physical and legal custody of his daughter. You'll be served with papers within 48 hours. We'd hope to resolve this amicably. But given your current mental state and the concerns about your fitness as a parent, my client feels he has no choice but to pursue this through the courts. My mental state? Maya's voice was ice. I'm perfectly fine. I'm raising my daughter. What concerns? The concerns outlined in the petition. You'll see them when you're served. We'll be in touch. The lawyer hung up. Maya sat there, phone in her hand, staring at nothing. He was trying to take her baby, the man who'd abandoned her while she was pregnant, the man who'd married his mistress while her father's grave was still fresh. He was trying to take the only family she had left. Naomi stirred in her bassinet, making the small sounds that meant she'd wake soon. Maya looked at her daughter, 3 months old, perfect, innocent, her father's eyes and her grandfather's smile, and felt something crack open inside her chest. Not grief this time, not pain. Rage. Pure, cold, crystalline rage. She picked up her phone and called Harold Ashford. Uncle Harry, I need you to open my father's sealed letter, the one about Marcus and parental rights. There was a pause. He's filing for custody? His lawyer just called. I'll be there in an hour. Maya, your father prepared for this. Everything you need, he left for you. Trust the plan. Those words again. Trust the plan. An hour later, Harold sat in Maya's living room, a thick folder in front of him, and an expression on his face that was part sorrow, part satisfaction. Your father knew Marcus would do this, Harold said quietly. About 3 weeks before he died, Marcus came to visit him in the hospital. Do you remember that? He told me he couldn't get away from work. He visited? He did. And your father, sick as he was, recorded the entire conversation. Harold pulled out his laptop and turned it toward Maya. Your father was very careful about this. Everything was done legally. One-party consent recording in a hospital room where Marcus had no expectation of privacy. It would be admissible in court. He pressed play. The video showed her father in his hospital bed, looking frail but alert. Marcus entered, and the change in his demeanor was instant, impatient, uncomfortable, checking his watch. Hey, James, how you feeling? Like I'm dying, Marcus. Because I am. Her father's voice was weak but steady. Right. Yeah, listen, I can't stay long. Got a work thing. But I wanted to talk to you about something important. Go ahead. Marcus shifted, clearly uncomfortable. It's about Maya and the baby. I'm just going to be straight with you. I don't think I can do this. The marriage, the kid, all of it. It's not what I signed up for. Maya's hand went to her mouth. This was 3 weeks before her father died, while she was still pregnant, while Marcus was still pretending everything was fine. You signed up for marriage vows, her father said quietly, in sickness and health, for better or worse. Yeah, well, things change. Maya's different now. She's all focused on you being sick and the pregnancy. She's not the woman I married, and honestly, with you going, I'm looking at being stuck supporting her and a kid on my salary alone. That's not sustainable. Sustainable? Her father's voice carried barely controlled anger. My daughter is having your child, and you're talking about sustainability like she's a business expense. I'm being realistic. And look, I hate to bring this up, but do you have life insurance? Anything that might help offset costs after you're gone? Maya felt sick. He'd asked her dying father for money. I have something better than life insurance, Marcus. I have clarity. I see exactly who you are now, and I want you to know something. My daughter's going to be fine when I'm gone, better than fine. You, on the other hand, are going to spend the rest of your life regretting this conversation. Whatever, man, I'm just being honest. So am I. Get out of my room. The video ended. Harold closed the laptop. That was recording number 1. There are 3 more, all equally damning. Your father also hired a private investigator who documented Marcus's affair with Vanessa. Dates, times, hotel receipts, everything. And here's the part Marcus doesn't know. Your father had his attorney send a letter to Marcus 6 weeks ago before Marcus filed for custody. What kind of letter? A letter offering him a one-time payment of $50,000 in exchange for signing away all parental rights to Naomi. Permanently and irrevocably. No contact, no custody, no claims to her or her inheritance. Ever. Maya's eyes widened. What did Marcus say? He didn't respond. He threw the letter away. We know because the PI retrieved it from his trash. Your father predicted he'd ignore a small amount like $50,000 because he'd eventually realize Naomi is worth billions, and that by rejecting the offer, Marcus would demonstrate that he has no interest in being a father, only in accessing her inheritance. But he can't access it. The trust is ironclad. He doesn't know that. He thinks that with full custody he could control her assets as her guardian. What he doesn't realize is that your father named an independent trustee, me, who cannot be removed except by court order. Even if Marcus won custody, which he won't, he'd never touch a penny of Naomi's money. Harold pulled out the sealed letter. Your father's instructions were clear. If Marcus filed for custody, I was to give you this and offer you the firm's full resources to fight him. Every attorney, every private investigator, every expert witness we have, pro bono, because your father retained us on a $10 million fee, specifically for this purpose. Maya took the letter with shaking hands and opened it. The handwriting was shakier than usual. Her father had been very sick when he wrote this, but the words were clear. My darling Maya, if you're reading this, Marcus has shown his true colors. He's not trying to be a father. He's trying to be a thief. He sees Naomi as a paycheck, as access to wealth he was too stupid to keep when he had it. This is unforgivable. So I want you to listen carefully. Show no mercy. Use every piece of evidence I've left you. Expose him for what he is. Protect my granddaughter with everything you have. I know you're scared. I know you're tired. I know part of you still wants to believe Marcus has some good in him, but baby girl, sometimes the most loving thing you can do is be ruthless with people who threaten your child. Fight him, destroy his case, and when it's over, make sure he never ever has the power to hurt Naomi the way he hurt you. You are not alone in this. You have resources, you have evidence, you have me, even from beyond the grave, and you have something Marcus will never have, the truth. Use it, with all my love and faith in you, Daddy. P.S. Vanessa will try to help him. I've left evidence about her too. Remember, show no mercy. Maya read it 3 times, tears streaming down her face, her father's voice echoing in her head as clearly as if he were standing beside her. Show no mercy. She looked up at Harold. When's the custody hearing? Preliminary hearing is in 2 weeks. That's when Marcus will present his case for why you're unfit. And Vanessa? She's listed as a witness. Apparently, during their brief marriage, she documented things she claims show you in an unstable light. Text messages you sent, social media posts, that kind of thing. All taken out of context, I'm sure, but potentially damaging if not properly challenged. Maya stood, her decision made. Uncle Harry, I want you to do something for me. Anything. I want you to offer Marcus one more chance, one more payment, bigger this time. Let's say $5,000 to walk away permanently. Document his response carefully. Why? We have all the evidence we need to destroy him. Maya smiled, and it was her father's smile, the one that said she knew exactly what she was doing. Because when he rejects $500,000, when he holds out for more, it'll prove he's not interested in Naomi at all. He's interested in her billions, and that, Uncle Harry, is going to destroy him in court more effectively than anything else we could present. Harold's expression shifted to admiration. Your father would be so proud of you right now. He raised me well. Maya looked at the letter in her hands. Now let's show Marcus what happens when you threaten a Hartwell's family. 2 days later, Marcus received a certified letter offering him $500,000 to terminate his parental rights. His response came within 6 hours. Rejected. See you in court. Harold called Maya immediately. He took the bait. Good, Maya said, looking at Naomi sleeping peacefully in her arms. Now let's end this. The family courtroom was smaller than Maya expected, more intimate, which somehow made it worse. Every lie Marcus was about to tell, every accusation Vanessa was about to make, would happen just feet away from her, close enough to see their faces, to smell Marcus's expensive cologne, the one he'd never worn when they were married but started using when he met Vanessa. Maya sat at the plaintiff's table with Harold and 2 other attorneys from Hartwell and Associates. Across the aisle, Marcus sat with his lawyer, Jennifer Walsh, a sharp-eyed woman in her 50s who looked like she ate opposing counsel for breakfast. Behind them, in the gallery, sat Vanessa, dressed conservatively. Navy blue dress, minimal makeup, hair pulled back, trying to look like a concerned family friend, instead of the mistress who'd whispered, finally, when Maya's father died. Judge Catherine Morrison entered, a black woman in her 60s with kind eyes but a reputation for suffering no fools. Be seated. We're here for the preliminary custody hearing in the matter of Richardson vs. Richardson Hartwell. Mr. Richardson is petitioning for full custody of the minor child, Naomi James Richardson Hartwell, currently 3 months old. Marcus's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client is here today because he's deeply concerned about his daughter's welfare. Miss Richardson Hartwell, while financially well off due to a recent inheritance, is emotionally unstable, socially isolated, and potentially suffering from severe postpartum depression that she refuses to acknowledge or treat. Maya felt Harold's hand on her arm, steadying her. Furthermore, Walsh continued, Miss Richardson Hartwell has demonstrated erratic behavior, including blocking my client from seeing his daughter, making disparaging remarks about him on social media, and creating a toxic environment that prioritizes her own grief and trauma over the child's needs. Your Honor, Harold stood smoothly, I'd like to address these allegations directly, but first, I'd like to establish some context about Mr. Richardson's interest in his daughter. Proceed. Mr. Richardson divorced Miss Richardson Hartwell when she was 6 months pregnant, exactly 24 hours after her father's funeral. He then married another woman, his former mistress, within 48 hours of the divorce being finalized. That marriage lasted 6 weeks before ending in divorce. During the first 3 months of baby Naomi's life, Mr. Richardson requested supervised visitation exactly twice, each visit lasting less than 30 minutes, and he left both visits early. He has never changed a diaper, never fed his daughter, never attended a pediatrician appointment. Until 2 weeks ago, when he filed this petition, he showed no interest in parenting whatsoever. Judge Morrison's expression shifted slightly. Is this accurate, Mr. Richardson? Marcus stood. Your Honor, I was giving Maya space to grieve and bond with the baby. I didn't want to intrude during a difficult time. You didn't want to intrude, the judge repeated slowly, on your own daughter's life? I was being respectful of Maya's process. I see. Ms. Walsh, what evidence do you have of Miss Richardson Hartwell's alleged instability? Walsh pulled out a folder. We have documentation from Ms. Vanessa Chen, who briefly lived with Mr. Richardson and observed Miss Richardson Hartwell during custody exchanges. We have text messages showing erratic behavior, social media posts that demonstrate. Your Honor, Harold interrupted, I'd like to impeach Ms. Chen's credibility as a witness before we proceed with her testimony. On what grounds? On the grounds that Miss Chen is the woman Mr. Richardson committed adultery with during his marriage to Miss Richardson Hartwell, that she has a documented history of hostility toward my client, and that she has a vested financial interest in Mr. Richardson gaining custody. Walsh's face tightened. Ms. Chen has no financial interest in this case. Actually, she does. Harold pulled out his own folder. Ms. Chen filed for bankruptcy 3 months ago with debts exceeding $200,000. She lost her job 2 months ago after the scandal of her affair with Mr. Richardson became public at her workplace. She's currently unemployed, living in a sublet apartment, and according to text messages we've subpoenaed, she and Mr. Richardson have discussed what they would do with access to Naomi's trust fund. That's not true. Vanessa stood up in the gallery. Sit down, please, Judge Morrison said sharply. Ms. Walsh, is your witness testifying today? She is, Your Honor. Then call her now. I want to hear this directly. Vanessa was sworn in, her hand shaking slightly on the Bible. She sat in the witness box trying to maintain her composure, but Maya could see the cracks forming. Walsh started gently. Ms. Chen, how do you know the parties in this case? I worked with Marcus, Mr. Richardson, at Davidson Marketing Group. We became close friends, and eventually we fell in love. I know it wasn't ideal timing, but these things happen. And you've observed Miss Richardson Hartwell's behavior? Yes. During the 2 custody exchanges I was present for, Maya was clearly unstable. She was crying, erratic, saying bizarre things. She told Marcus he'd regret everything, that karma was coming for him. She seemed paranoid and disconnected from reality. And these observations concerned you? Very much. I'm worried about baby Naomi being raised by someone so emotionally volatile. Harold stood for cross-examination, and his smile was deadly. Ms. Chen, you said you and Mr. Richardson fell in love. When exactly did this love begin? About 8 months ago. 8 months ago. And when was Miss Richardson Hartwell's father diagnosed with terminal cancer? Vanessa's face paled slightly. I don't know exactly. It was 9 months ago, so your love affair began while Miss Richardson Hartwell's father was dying and she was pregnant with Mr. Richardson's child, is that correct? We didn't plan it that way. Yes or no, please? Yes. And you attended Miss Richardson Hartwell's father's funeral, didn't you? Briefly, yes, to support Marcus. To support him at his estranged wife's father's funeral. How thoughtful. Harold's tone was cutting. And can you tell the court what you said when Mr. James Richardson's heart monitor flatlined? Vanessa's eyes went wide. I don't recall. You don't recall? Let me refresh your memory. Harold pulled out a document. We have testimony from 3 nurses who were present in the ICU that night. All 3 independently reported hearing a woman matching your description say the word finally when Mr. Richardson was pronounced dead. Do you deny saying that? The courtroom went silent. Even Marcus looked shocked. I didn't mean... It was taken out of context, Vanessa stammered. What context makes finally appropriate when a good man dies? I just meant that his suffering was over. His suffering, of course. Harold pulled out another document. Ms. Chen, you testified that you observed Miss Richardson Hartwell during custody exchanges. How many exchanges were there? 2, like I said. And both occurred at Mr. Richardson's apartment where you were living at the time, correct? Yes. The apartment you shared as his mistress, then his wife for 6 weeks, then his ex-wife after your marriage fell apart. Is it fair to say you had a vested interest in Miss Richardson Hartwell looking unstable during these exchanges? I was just observing. You were just observing the woman whose husband you stole, whose father had just died, who'd just given birth, and you expected her to be what? Cheerful, composed, perfectly rational? Walsh stood. Objection? Argumentative? Sustained. Rephrase, Mr. Ashford. Harold nodded. Ms. Chen, have you ever told Mr. Richardson that if he gained custody of Naomi, you two could get back together and live the life you deserve? Vanessa's face went white. How did you? Is that a yes? We talked about possibilities, and did those possibilities include accessing Naomi's inheritance? We never said that explicitly. But you discussed it, yes or no? Vanessa looked at Marcus desperately, but he was staring at the table, his face unreadable. We discussed that having custody would mean Marcus could make financial decisions for her, yes. Financial decisions for a 3-month-old baby. Interesting. Harold pulled out his phone. Your Honor, I'd like to play a recording that was legally obtained through a subpoena of Ms. Chen's phone records. This is a voicemail she left for Mr. Richardson 2 weeks before he filed this custody petition. He pressed play. Vanessa's voice filled the courtroom, slightly drunk, bitter. Marcus, I know you're not taking my calls, but you need to listen to me. Your daughter is sitting on billions. Do you understand that? Billions. And you're just letting Maya raise her, letting Maya control everything, when you could have custody. You could be making decisions about that money. We could fix everything. My bankruptcy, your debt, all of it. You just need to fight for custody. Any judge would give a father rights to his own kid. Call me back. We need to talk about this. The courtroom erupted. Judge Morrison banged her gavel. Marcus looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. Vanessa was crying now, her careful composure completely shattered. Ms. Chen, Harold said quietly, does that sound like someone concerned about a child's welfare? Or someone concerned about a child's bank account? I was just trying to help. Help yourself to a 3-month-old's inheritance. I have no further questions for this witness. Vanessa practically ran from the stand, rushing out of the courtroom in tears. Marcus sat frozen, realizing too late that bringing Vanessa had destroyed any credibility he might have had. Judge Morrison looked at Walsh. Do you have any other witnesses? We have Mr. Richardson himself, Your Honor. Call him. Marcus took the stand, sworn in, looking significantly less confident than he had an hour ago. Walsh tried to salvage the situation. Mr. Richardson, can you explain your relationship with your daughter? I love Naomi. She's my child. I want to be in her life. And why are you seeking custody now? Because I'm concerned about Maya's mental state. She's isolating, she's struggling, and I think Naomi would be better off with me. Harold stood for cross-examination, and Maya saw the predator in him now. Mr. Richardson, you testified that you love your daughter. How much did you contribute to her birth? What do you mean? Hospital bills, prenatal care, baby supplies. How much? Marcus shifted uncomfortably. Maya had insurance through her father's estate. So $0, is that correct? I was going through a difficult financial transition. A transition that included a $30,000 wedding to Ms. Chen. You had money for that, but not for your daughter's birth. That was different. Indeed it was. Mr. Richardson, do you know your daughter's pediatrician's name? Marcus went blank. Maya handles the medical stuff. What about her favorite toy, her sleep schedule, whether she's been vaccinated? I haven't been given access to that information. You haven't asked for it.